Hi, this is Salim of the Malik, your host at the Salim's Post channel. In this session, I'll talk to you about reconceptualizing warfare after the post-Pahalgam standoff between India and Pakistan. India's reaction to the Pahalgam provocation, irrespective of who was responsible for the massacre, was a strategic miscalculation. During the post-Pulwama Balakot Operation, India tried to emulate Israel's policy of punishing the Arab air forces with aerial strikes. Balakot was a parody of Israeli war doctrine. It not only failed to carve down Pakistan but also resulted in India's loss of at least one MiG-21 aircraft, piloted by Wing Commander Abhinandan. Modi's dream of slapping a new normal on Pakistan dissipated like foam. In dealing with Pakistan, the Indian military planners underrated Pakistan's conventional military strength and level of training. Rational Indian defense analysts had pointed out that during Operation Swift Retort, the PF had jammed India's air and ground transmissions. In 2025, PAF fighting capability demonstrated a manifold enhancement. During Operation Sindoor, which began on 7 May 2025, Indian Air Force launched missile strikes on Pakistan, followed by drone strikes and an aerial standoff in which Pakistan Air Force paralyzed the enemy. It was a 3.5-day high-tech conflict in which, except for the slogging infantry matches on the line of control, opposing infantry and armor did not play a major role. The post-Pahalgam standoff has drawn a blueprint of the shape of things to come. Chinese satellite data provided the PAF a panoramic perspective of the battle area, simultaneously rendering the Indian pilots deaf and blind. The lethal combination of J-10 paired with PL-15 air-to-air beyond visual range missiles destroyed at least 6 Indian planes. Pakistan also responded to Operation Sindoor with Chinese help by disrupting critical infrastructure and communication nodes within India. Many Indian cities bordering Pakistan fell into darkness when Pakistan destroyed their electricity nodes. In the past, China had disabled Indian nuclear reactors by inserting malware into their computers. Damage assessment reports on Indian infrastructure are still coming in. It will be some time before a clear picture emerges of the damage caused by Pakistani cyber attacks on India. According to the defense analyst Christopher Clary, while Pakistan had a meaningful and serious vulnerability to Indian air attack, both sides viewed the air defense threat of the other seriously, even on the final day of the conflict. Indian officials neither acknowledged nor denied their aircraft losses, but they represent perhaps the most meaningful military costs India experienced during the 4-day conflict. After May 7, Pakistan inflicted virtually no observable damage on Indian military units or facilities, though Indian officials have said there was some damage at 4 installations. India's integrated air and missile defense system appears to have largely defeated several waves of Pakistani drone and short-range ballistic missile attacks. Defense planners are rethinking the art and science of warfare. In the aftermath of Operation Swift Retort, India, after losing Wing Commander Abhinandan's MiG-21, tried to hide behind Modi's embarrassing remark that things would have been different had the Indian Air Force possessed Rafale fighter aircraft. Through the Rafale deals, the Indian Air Force wanted an aircraft with super cruise capability. This was because the Mirage 2000 and Su-30 aircraft in Indian Air Force inventory lacked this capability. An aircraft that can super cruise generally has greater endurance at supersonic speeds than one that cannot. Indian Air Force demanded a fighter aircraft with super cruise capability primarily to spend as little time in the enemy or hostile airspace as possible. The Indian Air Force has a psyche that avoids contact with the enemy except for the minimum required duration. Missile attacks will spearhead the future India-Pakistan wars, and there will be a greater role for armed and reconnaissance drones.